Good afternoon, Floss Tube. I'm Patty Penn, and this is my Floss Tube channel called Stitching with My Kitties. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the Floss Tube name came about. But first, a little bit about my personal life. I have been married, it'll be 42 years on January the 7th, so about 2 weeks away. My husband retired for the second time at the end of September last year. He was an active duty Army officer. He was a tanker for 28 plus years in the Army. And then he was recruited to go to FEMA, where he was a political appointee, and then eventually switched over to a permanent SES position. I really enjoyed our time in the Army. I still occasionally dream that it's time to move again, or that the moving truck lost our belongings. Just nightmarish. But I hope to continue to work probably another 4 years or so. I love my job. I do have some autonomy, so it's not a 9 to 5 every day. Right now, I still telework 3 to 4 days a week, unless I need to go in more often to meet with clients or a meeting in the office or something like that. I actually work in downtown, not downtown, Old Town, Alexandria, Virginia, which is a very, very quaint little shopping area. So I really love my job. It only takes 10 to 15 minutes to get to the office. So I'm in a good place right now. Now, our kitty story. We had a Shih Tzu that passed away in October of 22. She was 15 and a half years old. She was very, very clingy to both of us. She had separation anxiety to the point that we had to bring in the doggy psychiatrist to spend the day with us to give us help with how to cope with it. She was actually put on 2 different medications. One was doggy Prozac, and I forget the other one. It was more of a supplement than an actual prescription medication. Then when COVID started, my husband was working for FEMA, and they were working 16, 18-hour days, 7 days a week, and that went on for 6 months or longer. So Winnie, our little black and white Shih Tzu, Winifred, but we called her Winnie for short, she and I spent 24 hours a day with each other because I have some health issues. So my husband, when he could, he did the grocery shopping. Otherwise, we would have it delivered. And I did not leave the house other than to walk around the neighborhood. And Winnie had a stroller. So we started out, I had not walked or worked out or exercised in any form or fashion in a number of years. So I started out just walking around the block here in the living room, not in the living room, here in our neighborhood. And eventually, right now, I'm walking 3 miles a day, 4 days a week. But I would when I started to get my tennis shoes out to put them on to go walk, Winnie knew exactly what was going on and was so excited. So she was always with me for 3 years, day in and day out. So after we lost Winnie, I could not even consider getting another dog because I still can't imagine having another dog to this day, even though it's been a year and a half almost. But my assistant at work and her aunt came into my office, closed the door, asked if they could sit down and talk to me. So I did not know what was up. I didn't know if Sherry was quitting. I didn't know anything. So they said that a good childhood friend that they had grown up with and known all their lives, Sherry and her Aunt Julie are basically the same age, that their great childhood friend needed to rehome 3 siblings, 2 brothers and a sister, because they were having to sell their house and move into the husband's parents' house, and the parents would not allow the Kitties to come with them. So it was only about 6 weeks, 8 weeks after Winnie had passed, and my husband Damon and I have always had dogs and cats. At one point we had two huskies, a Shih Tzu, and 3 kitties. So we're big animal people. So I talked to Damon. I talked to the woman who owned them. She sent pictures. Damon and I talked some more. She was willing to separate them. And I told Damon, I said, we can't separate them. It's either all or none. Damon agreed. So she brought the kitties over on a Saturday. And they were terrified. She actually had to drive about 2 hours to get here. And we were just going to bring them into the house in their carriers, open the carrier door, and let them get out and explore on their own time. Well, that's not how she did it. She brought one in at a time, got it out of the bag, showed them where the litter box was, and let them go. So for several weeks, we did not see them. They were hiding. And we have a 4-story home, 3 up and a basement. We had the basement closed off and litter box, water bowls, food bowls all over the house. So we knew they were eating and going to the litter box and drinking their water. But we were very, very concerned because we couldn't find them. Well, finally, one kitty came out. His name is Duke. He is a tuxedo kitty, and he's crazy. I call him my problem child. We actually heard him the second night that they were here. He tried to jump from my 3rd floor, which is my sewing room. Then there's a craft room, and then there's a full bath. This house was built more like for an au pair or perhaps a teenager to have the 3rd floor. Well, he decided that he wanted to jump from the 3rd floor stairs down into the light hanging from the 3rd floor overlooking the front door foyer. He missed the light and ka-thump. I got up and the lamp or the light was swinging wildly back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. No sign of Duke. He didn't get hurt, but he's crazy. He hasn't tried that since, so thank goodness, because he used up about 7 of his 9 lives that night. So he started coming around, wanting to get petted. He does not like to be picked up, but he was becoming much more social. Then eventually, we still could not find Daisy Mae, the little girl, or her brother Dallas. And we got so worried about Daisy because we could find Dallas. We could see him like behind a piece of furniture or under a bed, but we could not see Daisy. So the first thing we did was get a heat sensing gun so that we could, flash the gun behind through the like bookshelves that go almost to the ceiling or just anywhere we could think. Could not find a heat sensing area anywhere. Then we got a camera. Well, hello, Duke. Why don't you come up here and say hello to everybody? I don't know if he'll come up here or not. Duke. Hey, Duke Elise. So then we got a camera with a long, flexible lens, trying to look for Daisy Mae. Couldn't find her. Then eventually she came out, and this was probably 6 to 8 weeks after they had been here. Duke, was out every night. And then finally Daisy started coming around. And then lastly, Duke would very slinkily walk into the family room, look around, and leave. So we would not try to get up or anything. We would just sit very quietly. And then eventually, after about, well, it was right before the end of February of 23 that he started coming out. And now if you call him, he'll come out. Duke, why don't you come up and say hello to the people? Let me see if I can get him. Hold on just a minute. Duke, I want you to come say hello. I want you to come say hello to all of the floss tubers out there. Say, hi, ladies and gentlemen. Say, I'm Duke. I'm the problem child, and I don't want to be held. Okay, you don't have to. So Daisy is a short hair, grayish brown tabby, and Dallas has the softest fur I have ever felt. He's a long hair, more of a gray tabby, and he's beautiful. So that's how we got our kitties, and that's the story of how my floss tube got the name of Stitching with My Kitties, because they are definitely my kitties and we love them so much. Next, I'm still working on Jardin Privé's sampler and medallions. And I'm still loving it, still frogging quite a bit, but my eyes are becoming much more accustomed to the 40 count Verdal. So I am really, really enjoying this. I'm not quite halfway through. I'm almost to the halfway point. I have, and this is going to be backwards because I still have not figured out how to mirror my front camera. But you'll see in a moment, I've gotten all of this over here done. And so now I just need to come up and do this medallion here and this in the center, along with these kind of carnation looking flowers. But it is just beautiful. I'm stitching it on white Verdal. I think that's by Zweigart, but I'm not positive. It's either Zweigart or Witchell. And I'm using the called for DMCs. So if I can get this back far enough, this is where I'm at. And I'll bring it a little closer so you can kind of see. I can't tell if that's really focusing or not. But I just love it. I just think it is so gorgeous. So I'm really enjoying this stitch. And when I started it around the 25th of January, I thought I would be able to finish it by the end of February. But then I had to start frogging so much that I knew I would not have it finished by the end of February. But I do think that I'll have it finished probably by mid-March. So we'll see how much progress I get. So I started Jardin Privé on, let's see, it looks like, yeah, the 25th of January, which is what I thought. So, and it's the 25th of February. So I've been working on it, what, a month. What is that, 30 days, 31 days? So I'm really, really happy with how that's coming along. And I hope you think it's pretty also. So I thought I would talk to you about how I organize my charts. I started stitching when I was 14, around 14, and stopped around 24. I think I mentioned that in my very first video, or Floss Tube. And then I picked it up right when COVID started. Well, I didn't have a lot of cross-stitch supplies when COVID started because I had given all of my stuff away. I had a good bit of DMC flosses, but that was it. So I now have over 350 charts. I don't know how many pieces of, I don't stitch on linen, as I mentioned in Floss Tube number 1, but I do like the higher count, even weaves and Lugana. So I don't know how much of that I have. I have started tracking them, and I'm going to show you a piece of beautiful Fiberlicious Verdal that I got. I'm on their monthly list, or their monthly shipment. So anyway, I had to have a way to organize my charts. I just, I was buying 2 and 3 copies of the same thing because I liked them, didn't know I had them. So I downloaded a free app on my phone called X Stitch, and I'm sure most of you know about it. I found out about it from Pam of Just Keep Stitching, and I think she just uses the free app also. You can get a paid for app from them also. And so I started doing that. And then in January of 23, I said, I've got to get more organized in my sewing room and my craft room. There's just too much stuff everywhere. So I went through my charts and took pictures of every chart or multiple charts if they were similar. I sent that off to Free Prints, which is another app you can get for your phone. And I believe you get 80 or 85 free prints per month. And then it's like maybe 5 cents a copy for anything over 80 or 85 prints if you go over your monthly limit. They have lots of photo albums. It's a really nice app. Then, so I needed some place to put the photos. So I ordered from Amazon, a photo album, and it's like $10 or $11, I believe, and started putting all of my photos in the album. You get 3 per page, and I am now on, this is book number 2. I'm now on book number 3. But it's a very easy way for me to go and look and see what I'm looking for, where it is. Then I have them in, some of them are separated by designer, like Hello from Liz Matthews, Stitching with the Housewives is So Emma, Teresa Kogut, Twin Peak Premiums, and then others are just put together in folders, like by season, winter, summer, Valentine's, different seasons or events. I have, I think, 3 folders now with Teresa Kogut. I've got like 3 or 4 Christmas. I've got about 4 folders that is all Americana, 4th of July. Some of the things that I just love stitching. And in the beginning, and I have a Lori Holt folder. And in the beginning, I was stitching a lot of Stitching with the Housewives, It's So Emma, and Lori Holt. Then approximately 6 or 7 months ago, something happened, and now I love Quakers. And even more so, Quaker samplers, as as shown by my Jardin Privé sampler and medallions. So my toast has really, really evolved. I still love all of the aforementioned designers. I love hands-on designs. I took went a Kathy's class at Jingle Ball last year. That was the block party. I took Liz Matthews' tree design class at Jingle Ball. I took a counting pen class. I forgot who taught that, but that was fun. And then I also took a Biscornu class, and I forget who that was from. I'll try to remember and put it in the drop down. No promises, but I'm going to write that down, my 4 classes from Jingle Ball. And of course I haven't stitched any of them, but I did already have a block party I think it was called Meow from Hands On Designs that I did finish maybe a month ago. And so it's coming along. Then let's see what else. So I put my charts in folders in my 2-drawer metal file cabinet. I have my inventory on my phone, and then of course my photos. I also have all of my overdyed flosses or fancy flosses listed by dyer. That way I know if I have it, or if I only have one skein, maybe I want to get another one so that if it takes more than one skein, I have it. I love that. I love having that with me all the time. So I have no finishes for February. I'm still working on sampler and medallions, as I keep talking about. But hopefully when I film in March, I will have it completed, and I'll keep it to take to the printer, oh my goodness, to my LNS for framing after my next floss tube, which I believe is going to be March the 9th. So I hope to have some finishes then, and maybe some prior finishes. Now, I want to show you a few kitted projects because I have 3 pages worth of kitted projects listed. I showed this last time. I wrote down all my kitted projects. Now, some of them may be missing fabric, but that's okay. I can easily add the fabric as long as I have the chart and the flosses ready to go. So this is one that I just recently kitted. In fact, this is part of my haul for the month, or for the last 2 weeks. And that is Modern Folk Embroidery, Quaker Sampler, A Summer Sky, a Scarlet Sky. Nope. Quaker Sampler, A Secret Sky. And I just love the color. I love everything about this. I'm going to stitch it on, I think this is 40 count. Well, I wrote it down. Why don't I look at my notes? That would probably help. No, I'm stitching this on 32 count Zweigart Silvery Moon Lugana. And I'm stitching it with DMC number 341. I think it called for 15 skeins. I got the whole kit and caboodle from 123 Stitch. Even had them send me the fabric, and that is the call for, and I'm going to stitch it 2/2. So this is one of my project bags that I made. It's Carrie from Tiger Lily Designs. It's her large portfolio, and it holds, has 2 different sides, or you can put bobbins in one side. And I also, oh, excuse me, I hit the camera. I also made a floss bed to match. And just put my little wool felt for my needles. Not that I'm going to need more than one needle for this one. It actually looks like that. And then you just snap it closed. And then, of course, I had to make a little coordinating orc tray, which I love making these. This is just 2 pieces of 5" by 5" quilting cottons. And I just put some cam snaps and make my own little orc trays. I think these are just the cutest thing. So here it is. And so that's another, so that's one thing that I kitted up. I'm not going to start this probably before summer, because Niecy Lynn and I are going to do a stitch along together, which I will talk about shortly. But I thought I would show you a few other kits that I have kitted up. ready to start stitching when the mood hits me, when I finish up some of these big projects. And this is Carrot Farm by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And it's just the cutest little thing. I love bunnies. I love bunnies. So I'll hold this up one more time, let you see it. And then also kitted up in this project bag. I guess I could show you the project bag also. This is a by Annie project bag pattern. These are the first project bags I started making, and I love them. I love them. And then I have a Starlight Stitching Co. Is that upside down? That's upside down. Starlight Stitching Co. Thread bed and little cross-stitch wallet. And inside the wallet, there is actually an extra pocket. This, I love making these. I've sent Niecy Lynn several of these. And it's nice. You can put your scissors in there or whatever. And the other chart I have in this cute little project bag is Scatter Eggs by Shepherd's Bush. And I have the buttons to go with it. So this will be fun. I have the call for colors here. Let me pull these out. And I'll show you the fabric that's in here, but I'm not going to use it. It's actually a 14 count Aida, gray Aida, touch of gray Aida. But I will not be using this. I really like stitching on the higher counts, and I like stitching 2/2. But here are the flosses that are the call fors. And I just think they're beautiful. And then here's just another button company. All of the little buttons that go with the Shepherd's Bush chart. So I will use a gray. I've got several really nice grays. Well, you just saw one in the a scarlet, a secret sky. Why do I keep saying scarlet? A secret sky project bag. Then I have two more Easter ones that I'm really would like to do. Easter bunny, not Easter bunny, but Easter spring bunnies. I love this. I just think it's so cute. It's Cottontail and Company, and this is by Cherry Hill Stitchery, and I got this as a PDF download from Fat Quarter Shop. And then I have Easter by the Cricket Collection, or the Cross-Eyed Cricket, and this is just Easter. And again, I'm sorry these are backwards. I don't know how to turn the camera around. So that is another thing that I'm looking forward to stitching. So now I thought I would show you my haul, and I have very, very little haul. On my next Floss Tube on March the 9th, I will have all of my needlework market, and I don't think my pocketbook wants to pay for everything that I have on order, but I am so excited. There are so many gorgeous, gorgeous charts out there. So I'm getting anxious to get my needlework market stuff. I will actually go pick it up at my L&S, which is in Stitches in Alexandria, Virginia. I went to my very first stitch night there. They had shut it down during COVID, and then they opened it back up maybe 6 months ago. But I was really not comfortable going because I didn't know anybody. And I was talking to Diane, who is one of the employees there. The employees are all so, so nice. And Ellen is the owner, and she normally is the one that helps me with my framing needs. And so Ellen was there, Diane was there, and Patricia was there. And Diane had told me I was there the weekend prior to pick up my red bunny sampler that I had framed from Pansy Quilts and Samplery, and I forgot to bring it up here. I'll bring it up next time to show you. So Diane said, no, just come. You know, we'll all be here. You'll know people. Everybody's nice. So it starts at 3:30, but I didn't get there till a little after 4:30 because I don't shut down for the day until 4 o'clock. So I sat down beside of a lady and kind of smiled and said hello. And then she and a couple of her friends were talking. And then I asked her what she was stitching. And so then I started feeling a little more comfortable. And by the end of the night, everybody was talking to everybody else. I really felt very welcomed. And I'm so glad I went. So I'll pick those up on March the 6th, Wednesday the 6th. That'll be the first Wednesday. The stitching nights are the first and third Wednesdays. So I plan on going both times in March. And then, excuse me, on March the 8th, I will go up to my other LNS up in Baltimore, Needlecraft Corner. Dreama is the owner, and she is the sweetest person also. She just made me feel so welcome the first Saturday that I went up there for Saturday Stitching Open House. Excuse me. And so I wasn't able to go in January or here in February, but I will definitely be there the weekend after market, which I think that's the 9th. And I'm going to film on the 10th. Yes. I think I said I was going to film on the 9th. That's not right. I wrote it wrong in my cross stitch journal. I'm filming on the 10th. I'm picking up my market releases from In Stitches on Wednesday the 6th, and then my cross stitch from market at Needlecraft Corner on March the 9th and film on the 10th. Very exciting. So now back to haul. So I am, like I said, in the Fiberlicious Fabric Club, and this month's was Burning Woods Crackling Fire, and I got 40 count for doll. It's a fat quarter, and I think this is lovely. I am so glad I found that they had Verdal, and they also have Lugana. So they have I think 28, 32, and 36 Lugana or even weave. And then I got in my monthly weigh-in from Stitching with the Housewives. Let me take it out of the package so that I don't have as much of a glare. I still have a little bit of a glare, I noticed. And I have not started this series, but I have gotten it every month. And this is adorable. So I'm not sure if I'm going to finish mine exactly like they did, or if I'll change it up a little bit. We'll see. My husband's a big woodworker, so I might have him design something for me to do my monthly weigh-ins. Then I got one piece of Happy Mail, and it is Happy Mail. My good friend Judy, hello Judy, sent me Real Comfort, a fan often sampler, and it's also by Modern Folk Embroidery. Judy is the one that introduced me to Modern Folk Embroidery, and 123 Stitch has a lot of their charts. And so this is the blessing sampler that she did for this year. So I'm going to stitch it next. I don't think I'm going to do mine. I think that is black. Let's see what the call for is. Let's see. It calls for 5 to 6 skeins of modern folk embroidery wool, 6 skeins of DNC or anchor, but I don't see the color. So I don't know what I'm going to do mine on yet. I might do it on 36 count splash, maybe the white with the real pale pink dots or splashes, and maybe a dark pink overdyed, or maybe even Belle Soie in a dark pink. We'll see. And of course, I'll show you when I get it kitted up and ready to start stitching. And then, dear sweet Judy, she knows how much I love anything hand done, heirloom type, and she sent me 2 of these gorgeous handkerchiefs. And she doesn't know the story behind them or anything, but they are gorgeous. So what I think I'm going to do is a motif above this bottom large corner with my initial in the middle, and I'll do one. I have 2 of them, and I will do those and then put them in my dough bowl, just falling over so that they can be seen. I think that would be very pretty. I also have another bowl that someone gave me that has modeled bunnies in it. I might put it in that bowl with a few pillows that I keep out most of the year. So that was my haul and my happy mail. Thank you again, Judy. So I mentioned last time I filmed that my good friend Niecy Lynn asked me if I wanted to stitch Lucy V. Moore with her. And I said yes, of course. So I have kitted it up. I thought I had ordered all of the flosses. I only had half of them. So I have put in my order to Fat Quarter Shop for the remaining flosses. But here is Lucy V. Moore. And it's very large with a lot of specialty stitches. So I told Niecy Lynn that we're going to have at least a weekly Zoom because she knows how to do the specialty stitches. I don't, so she's going to have to teach me. Because I'm here in Alexandria, Virginia, which is right outside of Washington, D.C., and she's down in northern Texas, I think real near Dallas. But so here's some of the colors. And then I have my little bookbinding ring with my needle bling that Niecy and her 2 granddaughters made for me. She sent me a bunch of these. It has a 2022 charm on it. It's not turned so you can see it. Of course, it's backwards to you, so you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. But is this kitty adorable or what? Just too cute. I might have to ask her for a patriotic one, though, because this is a patriotic. Well, I'm going to have to make me another patriotic bag because all of my other project bags are in use. But that's okay. So right now, I have it in one of my By Annie project bags, back and front. Then, of course, I had to make a little Ort tray, one of these little snappy things, and a thread bed. So I just need to, maybe next weekend, we'll see. I will kit up, I will make myself a patriotic project bag and all the goodies that have to go with it, and transfer Lucy over to the correct project bag. And then I'm stitching it on, I think this is 32 count. Let's look. Yeah, it's 32 count. Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart. And I wanted to do it on a 32 count because of the specialty stitches. I just didn't think I needed to try to be learning them own a piece of 36 or 40 count. And the size is rather large, as you can tell. The finished cross stitch size is 27.5 by 13. No, that's the size I cut the Lugana on, because I have a 3-inch border all the way around. So it's 21 by, what is that, 8 maybe? It's, the stitch count is 345 stitches wide by 110 high. So I need to go back and check my math on that to make sure that that's the right size of fabric, that I'm going to have enough. And then lastly, I have not done any quilting. Last weekend I did, however, get 4 pair of slacks made over the 3-day weekend. Amazing, because I was desperate for slacks. I have lost a little bit of weight, and I was desperate for clothes. And but I did finish a couple of embroidery, machine embroidered things. You know, I'm doing the Kimber Bell Christmas tree skirt. We're doing one a month. Well, they had a problem with the quality of the Christmas tree wedge, so they did not send that out for February. They're waiting on a new shipment. So I will have that hopefully, if not for the first Floss Tube in March, then the second one. But this was one of the ones that I had finished last time. I had finished the wedge, but not the ornament that goes with it. And then here's the little ornament. And it is adorable. It was so much fun to stitch. And I have one other thing. Last year, Kimber Bell also had a Christmas month-to-month subscription, and it was a Christmas village. So I didn't stitch any of them last year, but I stitched the first one this year because I still have them, of course, ready to stitch. And then let me show you what the first one looks like. It's the library, and yes, those are lights shining through the library windows, and I love it. I'm ready to do the second one, and again, there's 12 of them. Plus, there's one house that you can do, change up the colors if you need a few more buildings for your little Christmas village. So it's time for me to say thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. I hope that you will tell everyone that you know. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. I do not advertise on this channel. I enjoy just sitting down and getting to watch the videos without interruptions. If you ever see that being interrupted with a commercial, please leave me a comment so that I can ensure that that does not happen in the future. Again, this is Floss Tube number 2, Stitching with My Kitties. I hope you all have a very, very wonderful week. Take care. See you on the 10th.